Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Marina Stefanova and you are in the CSR AdviceBox series studio. Together we discuss all the opportunities and processes in order for you to embed sustainability in your everyday work. Today, I choose to talk about sustainable supply chains. I know you will tell me that it is really hard to identify the vast supply chain of some of the products and services we see around us, and now we are discussing what does it mean to make it sustainable. Do not forget, there are many opportunities and hidden risks hidden in the supply chain, and if we identify them, find them and manage them properly, we will be able to have a transparent process of production and the design and delivering the goods and services to the final client. Together, we discuss what is it, what is it requiring, how long does it take, how much does it cost, is it worth doing it? Take a cup of delicious tea, sit comfortably, and let's start. Many companies are limiting their evaluation only on the operations that they have in charge. This means that they miss the whole supply chain, its performance, its management, its targets, and its sustainability impact. You will say, what does it mean in reality? This means that they will not be able in any case to reduce the risks coming from the supply chain or cut the prices coming from the supply chain by reducing environmental and social negative impacts. You should know that companies have two types of impacts, direct and indirect. The direct impact goes directly through economic performance, like paying salaries or paying to suppliers, but it also goes through indirect ones by having paid to the suppliers who are paying the salaries of their employees. There are two different channels and you have to manage them together. The Business Dictionary defines supply chain as an entire network of entities directly or indirectly interlinked and interdependent in serving the same consumer or customer. It comprises of vendors that supply raw materials, producers who convert the material into products, warehouses that store, distribution centers that deliver to the retailers, and retailers who bring the product to the ultimate user. The supply chain management is a very important business process because it follows the money, the materials, and the human investment from the producer to the retailer and the people taking care about the pre-buying techniques. If you are able to manage your sustainable supply chain, you will be able to manage to optimize the products, cut its longevity, and be able to produce it more efficiently. Supply chains are the critical links between the inputs and outputs for a special product or services. They follow everything, and there are several hotspots, you may call them, when you are really urgent to manage more carefully. This is the time for transportation, this is the in-time delivery for the partials that you're going to use, or this is the cutting edge between the market and consumer expectations. Last but not least, GRI standards are also speaking about boundaries of supply chain and unless where you have to report, and they recommend you should cover all the relationships with most important or key suppliers you have. Our favorite practical question: how does the perfect supply chain management system look like? There are several things you have to have in mind in order to build a sustainable management system for supply chain. First, you have to have a formalized commitment coming both from your CEO level managers and accepted by the managers or at CEO level from the supply chain organizations. Secondly, all the supply chain management program should focus and marks the gaps and the risks when you have along the whole supply chain. Thirdly, you should be sure that you introduce in this paper and document not only your concerns, but also the concerns of the supplier management, be able to draft what they want, what they are afraid of, and how to increase their capacity to manage their business more sustainably. 4. It contains a formalized complaint management system, which is being able to organize and guarantee the whole feedback coming from the supplier to you and the opposite way. Point number 5. It complements two-way system, top-down like auditing, strategizing or requiring, and bottom-up collaborative approach that is focused on capacity building and training of your suppliers. Point number 6. There is an internal steering committee or working group in your company which enables you to be able to formalize more of the stakeholders and more of the suppliers and involve them in the everyday work. Not only this, it is great if you have the opportunity to involve an NGO, an independent partner that is going to guarantee effectiveness, transparency, and integration of external know-how. Finally, all relationships can be managed in a separate report where you will be able to have an access to something like questionnaires for the suppliers or matrices or events on structured advices that they will be able to apply directly in their everyday work. Believe me, this helps. Supply chain management is a business process, and in order to manage it successfully, what you really need is to develop a business case. Consider your company's largest products and services and cluster them into groups. Try to follow them from the raw material with the human workforce input till the end product that you offer to the market. Do not stop here, but also go to the supply chain and see all the inputs, whether they are raw materials or additional tools that you put there, the machinery, the inventory, everything is an important one. After this, what you can do is start gathering information on the environmental, social, governance issues that you want to look for and just write it down. After you have this preliminary information in place, you are ready to start. The first step is to make a commitment. This is a very important first movement that you have to do, and it includes to set a vision, expectations, formulate targets in order to engage both your managers and the representatives of the supplier himself. One of the best ways to do it is to have a formal code of conduct which contains the shared vision for sustainability of you and all the representatives of your supply chain. Sometimes voluntary, sometimes they are just having to accept it formally and informally be able to have the assessment that are following this signature. The second step is to assess. What does it mean? This means that you have to review and define the scope of your intervention in your supply chain. You don't believe that you have to cover all suppliers coming from the single pen to the huge machinery that you use in your production cycle. It's not important and it's not that necessary. What you have to do is to choose several key suppliers that are coming either from the impact that they have because you buy them a lot, or they are coming from places which you can call hot issues in your supply chain. At third place, you have to define and communicate the important things that you are willing to share with your suppliers. This is a common mindset for the vision, for the strategy. What in fact is sustainability for you is supposed to be something that aligns with their perception of sustainability for their own business. With this phase, what you have to do is communicate both internally with your colleagues and bosses to be able to align the procedures, and externally with the stakeholders coming from the supply chain to be able to build capacity, to educate and train them in order to have collaborative projects that are really discovering the sustainability issues among your core business activities. The final step is to measure and communicate. What does it mean? I know that you know. This means that you will be able to gather all information from the implementation phase of the activities coming from capacity building programs, changing internal rules and procedures for supplier selection, for example, and communicate them directly to the targeted audiences. Usually it comes with a progress report, but I would recommend you to have a separate report which is going to be focused on popularization of your activities among the supply chain. A formal report is usually expected also to come from the supplier himself. Another key instrument for building a sustainable supply chain is the procurement. You know that there is a huge purchasing power in any company while they are covering their needs for products, services, or external opportunities to use workforce. Maybe you didn't remember, but you have to really be able also to ask about environmental and social performance. Next time, you can build some criteria additional to the criteria of good price, good quality, in-time delivery, and be able to influence all the suppliers that know or maybe don't know what a sustainability program means. A very important tool for constant improvement is that you finally have to think of your sustainability supply chain program while evolving in a way that you have to reward somehow the good suppliers. What does it mean and what kind of rewards you may put? You may organize an internal contest which is going to outline the best suppliers, or you may reduce the audits that are performed on a regular basis when you see a good and long-term performance. You may also choose to share the costs for the sustainability improvements in definite suppliers, maybe on an annual basis, or maybe once, but like an encouragement. Last but not least, it may seem strange to you, but I would also recommend to include some of them in the decision-making process when you start thinking of optimizing your supply chain, optimizing the production or delivery process. And finally, do not forget that economic performance and bonuses always work. This means that the least thing you can do is to grow the deliveries and the tenders giving to this particular company. You can tell it before me. Sustainable supply chain management is an ongoing business process. You cannot measure the time on every single interaction with your suppliers or internal stakeholders in order to improve it or benefit most of it. What you can think in order to reduce the time of compliance and alignment between your sustainability strategy and the one coming from your suppliers is that you can really make an effort to choose your suppliers at first place, and if they have all these requirements and understanding for CSR and sustainability, it will be easier for you to deliver results in short time. A longer strategy means that you have to make it possible to involve somehow your suppliers in a very balanced program, teach them, deliver them with tools, have a team building or invite them to your meetings in order for them to raise the awareness how important sustainability really is for your business. You may start when? I offer you to start now. If we discuss it, you should know that my answer is yes. There is a strong business case behind the sustainability supply chain management. At first, it sees and maps the risks on which you cannot be aware of during your production or everyday trade work. You cannot follow your suppliers till the bottom of the supply chain and be able to just guarantee to your end users that everything's fine. This map of risks then finally, brings another engagement plan and action plan for improvement. Secondly, it marks efficiencies. It brings efficiencies to the business, because when you look deeply through the supply chain, what you can see is some places where you can reduce time, or you can mark bigger efficiency of the person, or you can have a time saving, a very important thing in this dynamic world. Thirdly, also very important, is that you deliver a sustainable product or service on the market. What does it mean? This means that you can answer the expectations and concerns of stakeholders, calling the most important ones, calling themselves customers, and they are aware of all your environmental and social efforts answering to their needs. Finally, I would like to outline one more very important thing. You know that lack of transparency usually is crucial for the investor's trust, for the employee's trust, and the customer trust. You will not want to face this mistrust only by saying that you couldn't follow it till the bottom line. Unless you start sharing your efforts step by step, you will not be able to have supporters in some of the changes that you're going to propose or to make in the products or in the processes. So please feel free. It is very important. This is the way you will gain the supporters to deliver your business products and have your profit for a very long time. Start now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching CSR AdviceBox series and being with me, Marina Stefanova. If you find it useful, subscribe to our YouTube channel and get notified for all the recent online updates. If you urge to watch them together, go to our website and pre-buy them. You may like us and share the content with your peers. Thus, you will help us to contribute the growing CSR practitioner society online. I look forward to meeting you in 2 weeks when we are going to discuss how to perform your materiality analysis. Till then, follow us on Facebook and get notified for all CSR recent updates worldwide.